Welcome to the Digital Environments Podcast, where we explore how the digital world shapes our daily lives. From social connections to professional goals, our digital environments are influencing us in ways we might not even realize. Today, we live in a world where social media is constantly at our fingertips. How many of us stop to question how much of it is really affecting us? Whether it's our mental health, relationships, or even time we spend in our day. Well, that's exactly what we'll be getting into in today's episode. Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Sapana. In today's episode, we're talking about what happens when you try to take a break from social media. Is it easy, hard, maybe life changing? Let's find out together. For this very first episode of the Digital Environment Podcast, I thought it'd be fun and possibly a little eye opening to share a simple but challenging experiment. I did this experiment with my sister in law, a 24-hour break from social media. Now, you might be wondering, how hard could that be? Well, I can tell you, it was a lot more challenging than I expected. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through the experiment, compare how my sister in law and I each experienced it, discuss the powerful psychological forces behind our social media habits. I'll also explore why some people find it incredibly hard to disconnect and how small changes can make a big difference. I'm so excited to share my journey with you. To kick things off, let's go back to the beginning of the 24-hour experiment. We started at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. I thought it'd be a bit easier if we started in the evening, since we'd be asleep for part of the challenge. A way of maybe easing into it. The plan was simple: no social media apps, no notifications, no mindless scrolling, just a full 24 hours off the digital grid. What happened next might surprise you. While I found the experience quite surprisingly refreshing, my sister in law didn't have the same success. In fact, she lasted only 9 minutes. So, why the big difference? That's what we're going to be diving into today. Let's start with how my sister in law's experiment went. She was all in for the challenge of no social media apps until she wasn't. Less than 10 minutes into the challenge, she accidentally opened TikTok without even thinking. She told me, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I totally forgot and just opened TikTok without thinking about it. 9 minutes into the challenge. 9 minutes into the challenge is all it took for her brain to slip back into the habit, almost as if her brain was on autopilot. This reaction is not as surprising as it may seem, especially when we consider how the environments of these apps are designed. The textbook Living in Information by Jorge Arango emphasizes that many of today's most popular information environments are based on business models that incentivize the latter. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook aren't just entertainment. They have been engineered to keep us hooked. These apps are designed with incentives to grab our attention and keep us coming back, even when we're not aware of it. Notifications, likes, and the endless scrolling all trigger our brain's reward system, making it hard for us to resist. It's not about the content, it's about the feeling we get when we engage. On the other hand, I went to this experiment with a different approach. I had already realized that social media had become a bit of a distraction for me. As a mother of two teenagers, a full time student, a wife, and a full time employee, I already have a packed schedule. But even so, I found myself checking social media every chance I got. It was almost as if my brain was also on autopilot whenever I had a free moment. So, for this experiment, I made the conscious decision to delete all my social media apps. That means TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. No notifications, no quick access, no temptations, just a clean slate. I wasn't just avoiding the apps, I actively removed the source of habit, out of sight, out of mind. At first, I'll admit, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it through the full 24 hours. Initially, I felt like something was missing. I kept trying to scroll or check something, only to realize the app wasn't there. But the more I resisted, the more I started to realize how much my day had been consumed by those little distractions. As the day went on, I started to feel free. I was no longer distracted by the constant buzzing notification or the pressure to check in. I found I had more time to focus on things I actually needed to do. I was more present with my family, more focused on my schoolwork, and even had time to relax. I felt more awake, more alive, less stressed, feeling like I can breathe again. I created an environment for myself where I was not able to access my social media accounts. For example, Arango notes that a layout of a church is designed to keep our focus on the altar, while information environments are structured by data driven algorithms. Having access to an information environment that is custom tailored to your desires can make it easier to get stuck scrolling for hours. This break reminded me that social media isn't as essential as I thought it was. Honestly, I haven't even downloaded the apps back on my phone. Even after the experiment was over, I didn't think to download the apps back on my phone. Social media can overstimulate our brains, leaving us feeling drained. Taking a break, even just for one day, gives our mind a chance to reset, like hitting the reset button. But why did my sister in law and I experience such different outcomes? One of the key reasons for our different outcomes is habit. For my sister in law, social media has become a habit. Her brain had been trained to reach for her phone without any thinking. For me, I knew that I had built a habit around constant connectivity. So I took a more intentional approach by deleting the app. This small action helped me eliminate the habit loop. When my brain automatically tried to open an app, there was no app to open. This made the process of staying off social media a lot more manageable. So, what does that mean for us? Well, the big key takeaway here is that social media is not just about content, it's about habits. It isn't just a passing distraction, it's a powerful force that shapes our habits and our brains. They're designed by organizations with their own incentives, feeding us small, variable rewards to keep coming back for more. The longer we engage with these platforms, the stronger those habits become. Taking a break from social media gave me back time and mental clarity that I didn't realize I was missing. So, what about you? What's your relationship with social media? Have you ever tried taking a break? This week, I challenge you to delete the apps off of your phone for a few hours or even a whole day. Notice how it makes you feel and let me know. I'm Sapana, and thank you so much for listening to the Digital Environment Podcast. Until next time, bye.